The galaxy was vast, stretching beyond what even the most advanced telescopes could see, and in the vastness, there was a planet that had been forgotten by many, Earth. It was a planet of diverse creatures, technology, and life, each species having its own place in the grand scheme. But what humans didn't know was that Earth was more than just home to them. It had secrets buried deep within its soil and its oceans, secrets in the form of ancient beings, long thought to be myths. These creatures, once believed to have vanished or never existed, were alive and waiting, hidden from the eyes of modern man. In the quiet corners of the earth, something stirred. In the deep, dark oceans, a creature so large it could eclipse the moon began to wake. Its name was lost to time, but the humans of Earth called it the Leviathan. The vast sea creature had slumbered for centuries, drifting through the oceans, depths, hidden from the world above. But now, it heard something, a faint whisper growing louder with each passing moment. It was a cry for help, a signal broadcasted from a distant corner of the galaxy. The Leviathan had once been a guardian of Earth, and though the world had forgotten it, the creature had not forgotten its duty. The cry was a plea for help, an emergency call sent out by a planet in distress. The Leviathan, with its vast ancient knowledge, understood immediately. The call had come from an alien species, one that was desperate and in need of assistance. It was strange. The call was not meant for Earth, but the Leviathan knew deep within that it could not ignore it. Something deep inside it, the ancient bond between Earth's creatures and their planet, stirred. The monsters of Earth had once been protectors, ancient forces meant to defend the planet from the unknown. The creatures that had been dismissed as fairy tales, legends, and nightmares were Earth's true guardians. They would not allow an outside force to invade without a fight. But Earth, as it was, had forgotten. Humans had built their cities, their technology, their defenses. But the true defenders of Earth lay hidden in the wilderness, in places mankind dared not venture. The signal spread further, and soon the call reached other monsters, other ancient beings who had once roamed freely across the planet, but who had retreated into hiding, waiting for a moment like this. So, ancient dragon, a creature of fire and shadow, who had slumbered in the high mountains, felt its wings stir. It had long ago given up on the world of humans, content to live in the peaks far from their reach. But the cry echoed in its mind, and it could not ignore it. The creature, though long lost to legend, knew the importance of the call. It was a signal, a summons for help that reached deep into its bones. Its massive wings, once folded for centuries, stretched wide. The creature would not wait any longer. It would join the others, answer the call, and protect the planet. Deep in the jungles, the massive gorilla-like beast, a creature whose strength could level mountains, stirred from its slumber. It had once been feared by tribes and kingdoms, but it had retreated into the thickest parts of the jungle where no human dared enter. It had watched the humans grow, watched them build their cities, and wondered what had happened to the earth that had once been its home. Now, as the cry for help reached its ears, the creature knew what it had to do. The world had changed, and it had changed with it, but this was still its home, and it would defend it. Above the clouds, the winged predator, whose feathers could pierce the skies, sensed the call. It had once ruled the skies of Earth, a terrifying force that no one could rival. But it had been forgotten, its legend reduced to stories told by frightened children. But the signal made it clear that the time for hiding was over. The winged predator spread its enormous wings and soared into the air, ready to answer the call. The world, blissfully unaware of the monster's awakening, continued with its usual pace. People went about their daily lives, believing their cities and technology were all that was needed to protect them. The alien invaders, unknown to all, were already on their way, hidden in the darkness of space, their ships slowly making their descent toward Earth. They had no idea what awaited them. The monsters, ancient beings that once protected Earth, were awakening. But they had a problem. They had not communicated with each other for centuries, and yet they all knew what needed to be done. Each creature, each guardian, had its own strengths, but they were far apart, scattered across the globe, and the task of stopping the alien invasion seemed impossible. They would have to come together, to work as one, if Earth was to have any hope. As the monsters made their way toward the rendezvous point, an abandoned temple deep in the jungle where Earth's oldest creatures once gathered, they felt the urgency of the situation. The invaders were not just coming for Earth, they were coming for everything. Earth was more than just a planet. It was the cradle of life, the last remaining untouched world in the galaxy. And the monsters knew that they were Earth's last defense. There would be no second chances. The Leviathan moved slowly through the waters, its giant form causing ripples that spread across the seas. The dragon, with its mighty wings, soared high above the clouds, its eyes scanning the horizon. The jungle beast made its way through the dense foliage, its massive paws crushing trees beneath it. The winged predator, agile and swift, flew ahead, scouting for any sign of the alien forces. The cry for help had gone out. And now the monsters of Earth were answering. The monsters of Earth, once myths and legends, were now awake and moving. The cry for help that had echoed through the cosmos had reached them all, and now they were on their way. Each one of them knew the importance of the task at hand. The invaders who threatened their world were unlike anything Earth had ever seen before, and yet the monsters had a secret. They had once been the guardians of this planet. They were more than just ancient creatures. They were the Earth's true protectors. The Leviathan, the ocean's great guardian, moved slowly but powerfully through the waters. Its immense body was a sight to behold, stretching over miles of the ocean floor. The Leviathan's huge tail stirred the sea, sending waves crashing against the shore. Its eyes, ancient and wise, scanned the horizon as it navigated its way to the surface. The Leviathan had not been seen for centuries, yet now it was emerging from the deep ocean, called by a force it could not ignore. Beneath the waves, the Leviathan could feel the stirrings of something sinister. The cry for help had been a signal of distress, and the creatures of Earth, its old allies, were already gathering to answer. The ocean creature felt a surge of purpose, something deep within its soul telling it to move faster. This was a moment it had prepared for, even if it had never known when it would come. Meanwhile, far from the sea, in the towering mountains, the ancient dragon stirred from its rocky lair. For years it had hidden itself, far away from the bustling cities and the human world. The stories of its fire-breathing, terrifying power had faded into myth, and the world had changed without it. The dragon had not cared, content to live alone among the peaks, watching the world below. But the call, the cry for help, was impossible to ignore. The dragon's massive wings spread wide, sending a gust of wind that rustled the trees below. The sound of its wings was deafening, echoing like thunder through the mountains. With a powerful leap, the dragon took flight, its massive form soaring through the sky. It had once been a protector, a fierce guardian of Earth, but now it was once again called into action. The world was different now, but the dragon knew that the time had come to protect it once more. The alien invaders, whoever they were, would not take Earth without a fight, and the dragon would fight until the end. In the jungle, the mighty gorilla-like creature, known only in stories as a terrifying force of nature, also began to stir. It had spent years in the heart of the jungle, surrounded by thick trees and thick vines. The creature, with its enormous strength, could topple the tallest trees and crush the hardest rocks. It had never been seen by humans, its legend only, growing in size as it remained hidden from the world. But the cry for help had reached the jungle beast, and it knew it could no longer remain in hiding. The creature stepped out of the shadows, its massive arms swinging as it moved with incredible speed and agility. The jungle seemed to part in front of it, as if the trees themselves were bowing to the mighty creature. The beast's eyes were sharp, and it could feel the presence of something dark approaching. The alien invaders would soon be on Earth, and the jungle beast was ready. It was not alone in its mission. Earth's ancient protectors were gathering, and together they would defend the planet. In the skies above, the winged predator, a creature so fast it could outpace the fastest ships in the world, also felt the call. It had long since abandoned its reign over the skies, choosing instead to live in the high, unreachable heights where humans had never ventured. But now, hearing the cry for help, it knew it could not stay hidden. The winged predator took to the skies, its massive wings cutting through the air with precision. Its sharp, keen eyes scanned the ground below, always alert, always aware of any threat. It had been trained by the earth itself to hunt, to fly, and to protect. And now it would answer the call of the planet. These creatures were not just beasts. They were the Earth's first guardians. They had once fought together to protect the planet from threats beyond the stars, and now they were returning to do the same. Earth had evolved, and its people had built great cities and powerful technologies, but they had forgotten their roots. They had forgotten the true protectors of their world. The monsters had been there all along in the shadows, waiting for the moment when they would be needed again. As the creatures made their way toward the rendezvous point, they couldn't help but feel the weight of the world on their shoulders. The alien invaders were coming, and Earth was at risk. But these ancient creatures knew something that humans didn't. They were stronger than any invader could ever imagine. They were the monsters, the guardians, the protectors, and they would do whatever it took to keep Earth safe. The creatures traveled across the world, each in its own way. The Leviathan moved slowly through the deep oceans. The dragon flew high above the clouds. The jungle beast dashed through the trees, and the winged predator glided gracefully in the air. Each creature was on its way to the same place, a forgotten temple deep within the jungle. This was where the guardians of Earth had once gathered, a place where their power had been at its greatest. It had been centuries since they had gathered in this place, and none of them could remember the last time. They had all come together, but the cry for help had called them back. The monsters, the protectors of Earth, were answering the call. The planet was in danger, and they would stop at nothing to defend it. As the creatures neared their destination, they could feel the presence of the invaders growing closer. They knew that time was running out. Earth had one chance, one opportunity to fight back, and it rested on the shoulders of its ancient protectors. The monsters of Earth were awake, and they would not let their home fall without a fight. The monsters of Earth were gathered, their ancient power rising as they prepared to face a threat they had not seen in centuries. But they were not the only ones with plans for Earth. Far beyond the stars, in the darkness of space, an alien force had set its sights on the blue planet. Their ships moved silently through the void, their destination clear, Earth. The invaders were a race unlike any the Earth had known. They were technologically advanced, their ships capable of traveling faster than the speed of light, and their weapons capable of destroying entire cities with a single blast. They were a relentless species, driven by the desire to conquer and dominate. To them, Earth was nothing more than another prize, another world to claim as their own. The alien fleet approached Earth, unseen and undetected by human technology. The planet's satellites and defense systems had failed to pick up on their arrival. The aliens had made sure of that. They were masters of stealth, able to cloak their ships from all detection. They knew that the humans, with their advanced technology and defense systems, would be a problem. But they were confident that their superior forces would easily overcome any resistance. As the first wave of ships descended upon Earth, the humans were still unaware. They went about their daily lives oblivious to the danger lurking in the skies above. But in the deep oceans, the Leviathan sensed the alien presence. It felt a disturbance in the water, a strange vibration that rippled through the sea. The Leviathan knew what it was. It was a ship, a foreign vessel moving toward Earth. The great creature swam deeper into the ocean, its enormous body cutting through the water with ease. It had not faced an enemy like this in centuries, but it knew what it had to do. The Earth was in danger, and it was time to defend it once again. Above the water, in the mountains, the ancient dragon also felt the change in the air. Its sharp eyes scanned the sky, its senses heightened. The dragon had lived for centuries, and in all that time, it had never felt such a presence. The aliens were coming, and they were unlike anything the dragon had encountered before. But the creature did not hesitate. It was a protector of Earth, and it would not let the invaders destroy its home. In the dense jungles, the mighty gorilla-like beast could feel the ground tremble beneath its feet. The Earth itself seemed to groan under the weight of the alien, ships descending upon the planet. The beast, with its immense strength and keen instincts, knew that something was wrong. It could feel the presence of the aliens growing stronger, and it could hear their ships above, cutting through the skies. The time had come to act. High in the sky, the winged predator soared through the clouds, its sharp eyes catching the first signs of the alien ships. The creatures in the sky were not of Earth, and the predator could sense their unnatural presence. The winged beast's instincts told it that the Earth was in peril, and it was ready to fight. With its powerful wings, the predator took flight, ready to face the invaders head-on. The monsters of Earth had once been the planet's guardians. Now, they were the last line of defense. The creatures who had lived in the shadows, in the oceans, the mountains, and the skies were finally coming together to protect their home. But they were not prepared for what awaited them. The alien fleet descended upon Earth with terrifying speed. Their ships, sleek and black, moved effortlessly through the atmosphere, their engines silent as they approached their targets. The first wave of ships landed in major cities, unleashing a barrage of energy weapons that caused massive explosions. Buildings crumbled, and the streets were filled with chaos as the aliens began their invasion. The humans scrambled to respond, but their technology was no match for the alien forces. The invaders were far more advanced, and their weapons were more powerful than anything Earth had ever seen. The humans' defense systems, designed to protect against natural disasters and rogue attacks, were ineffective against the alien onslaught. Panic spread as the people realized that their world was being invaded by a force they could not stop. In the midst of the chaos, the monsters of Earth began to move into action. The Leviathan rose from the depths of the ocean, its massive body breaking the surface with a mighty splash. The creature's enormous tail slammed into the side of an alien ship, sending it crashing into the ocean below. The Leviathan let out a deafening roar, its ancient voice echoing across the sea. The invaders had no idea what they were up against. Above the ocean, the dragon soared through the skies, its fiery breath scorching the alien ships that dared to approach. It breathed fire upon the ships, turning them to ash as they attempted to escape. The dragon's roar shook the heavens, sending a message to the invaders that Earth was not an easy target. In the jungle, the mighty beast charged toward the alien forces that had landed on the ground. Its massive arms swung with terrifying power, crushing alien soldiers beneath its strength. The creature's roar echoed through the trees, a warning to the invaders that they had made a grave mistake by setting foot on Earth. The winged predator flew above the battlefield, its sharp claws slicing through the alien ships in the sky. The predator dove down, attacking with precision, its wings cutting through the air with speed unmatched by any of the invaders. It darted between ships, taking out enemy forces one by one. The monsters of Earth were unstoppable. They moved as one, a force of nature that could not be contained. The alien invaders were powerful, but they were not prepared for the raw strength and ancient power of Earth's guardians. The creatures of the land, sea, and sky fought together, proving that no matter how advanced the technology of the invaders, Earth's monsters were the true defenders of the planet. But the battle was far from over. The invaders regrouped, bringing in reinforcements from their fleet. The fight would continue, and the fate of Earth rested on the shoulders of the ancient monsters who had returned to protect it. The battle raged on as the alien forces, relentless and cold, continued their assault on Earth. But the creatures of Earth, those once thought mythical beasts, were proving to be a force unlike any the invaders had faced. The monsters, driven by ancient instincts and a deep primal connection to the planet, were fighting with everything they had. The Leviathan, with its massive size and incredible strength, was wreaking havoc on the alien forces. Its long serpentine body slithered through the oceans, smashing alien ships with the power of its tail. Each strike caused waves to crash violently against the shore, sending debris flying in every direction. The alien ships designed for speed and precision were no match for the raw power of the Leviathan. Every time the beast's tail struck, another ship went down, sinking into the depths of the ocean. The Leviathan roared, a deep and ancient sound that echoed across the waters. It was a signal to the aliens that Earth would not fall without a fight. The sea itself seemed to bend to the will of the creature, and every ship that entered the water was met with the Leviathan's overwhelming power. Above the ocean, the dragon soared through the skies. Its wings beat the air with thunderous force, creating powerful gusts of wind that sent alien aircraft tumbling from the sky. The dragon's fiery breath blazed through the air, incinerating enemy ships that dared to approach. With each exhale, the dragon sent flames lashing out, burning, through the hulls of the alien vessels. The invaders tried to retaliate, but the dragon's speed and agility made it nearly impossible to target. The dragon roared with fury, the sound like a great storm in the heavens. It was not just fighting for its own survival, it was fighting for the future of Earth. The creature's scales gleamed like molten metal, and its eyes burned with an ancient fire. It was a force of nature, untamed and free, and it would not allow the invaders to take the planet it had once called home. Meanwhile, in the heart of the jungle, the mighty gorilla-like beast continued its relentless assault on the alien forces. With each swing of its powerful arms, the creature shattered the alien soldiers and their machines. The beast moved with terrifying speed, leaping from tree to tree, crashing through the dense foliage, and slamming into alien forces with devastating force. Its strength was unmatched, and its roar echoed through the jungle, sending shivers through the alien invaders. The gorilla-like creature had once been feared by Earth's ancient civilizations, and now it was feared once again. The aliens had no idea how to stop such a powerful force. Their weapons, though advanced, were no match for the sheer strength and brutality of the jungle beast. With each attack, the creature tore apart the alien forces, sending them scrambling to regroup. The winged predator high in the sky continued to dart between alien ships, its razor-sharp talons tearing through their hulls. The creature moved with incredible speed, weaving between enemy aircraft, striking swiftly and efficiently. Its eyes, sharp and focused, scanned the battlefield below, looking for any weaknesses in the alien forces. The predator's wings beat faster, allowing it to outmaneuver the invaders with ease. The alien forces, though technologically superior, were beginning to realize the gravity of the situation. The monsters of Earth were not just beasts, they were warriors, each with their own unique strengths, each with their own role to play in the defense of the planet. The invaders had underestimated the creatures of Earth, and now they were paying the price. The battle continued to rage on, but the monsters of Earth were not backing down. They fought with the determination of creatures who had been protecting this planet for eons. The aliens, once confident in their ability to conquer, were now facing an enemy they could not defeat. Earth's monsters were too powerful, too ancient, and too connected to the land to be beaten. But the aliens, not ones to give up easily, began to adapt. They regrouped, sending in reinforcements from their fleet. The first wave of ships, which had been destroyed by the Leviathan and the Dragon, was replaced by newer, more advanced craft. These ships were faster, more maneuverable, and better equipped to deal with Earth's monsters. The aliens also deployed ground forces, advanced infantry, that were heavily armored and armed with weapons capable of taking down even the largest of creatures. These soldiers began to infiltrate Earth's cities, causing widespread panic. The humans, caught in the crossfire, scrambled to escape the chaos. But the monsters, though focused on the alien fleet, knew they could not allow the invaders to harm their fellow Earthlings. The Leviathan, sensing the shift in the battle, turned its attention to the alien forces on the ground. With a roar, the creature surged forward, crashing through the ocean and onto the shore. Its massive tail whipped through the air, knocking down alien soldiers and machines alike. The Leviathan was not just a creature of the deep, it was a force of nature, capable of reshaping the world around it. Above, the dragon circled the skies, ready to dive into the fray once more. It had already proven its power, but now it had to do more. The alien ships were regrouping, and the dragon knew that. It would have to take them down before they could land reinforcements. With a mighty roar, the dragon dived toward the alien fleet, its fiery breath ready to scorch everything in its path. In the jungle, the gorilla-like beast continued its assault on the invaders. Its strength was unmatched, and now it was using its intelligence as well. The creature began to coordinate with the other monsters, signaling the winged predator to take out enemy ships, while it took on the alien ground forces. Together, the creatures of Earth began to form a battle strategy, a plan that would take down the invaders once and for all. The monsters of Earth were not just fighting for their survival, they were fighting for the future of the planet. They knew that the aliens would not stop until Earth was theirs, and they would not let that happen. They fought with the strength of ancient guardians, with the power of a planet that refused to die. The aliens, though relentless, were beginning to falter. Their forces were being decimated by the monsters of Earth, and their ships were falling from the sky. The invaders, once confident leaders, now realized the true power of the planet they had tried to conquer. Earth had monsters, and these monsters would not allow it to fall. The battle had reached a crucial turning point. Earth's monsters, guardians of the planet's deep past, had come together to face the alien invaders who had underestimated them. Each of Earth's ancient creatures had proven their power, their strength, and their will to protect their home. But now, the invaders were regrouping, adapting, and sending in reinforcements. It was clear that the fight was far from over, and the fate of Earth hung in the balance. The Leviathan, who had wreaked havoc upon the invaders from the oceans, felt the disturbance in the air as new alien ships arrived. The creatures from the sea, the guardians of the deep, were still vital to the battle, but now the Leviathan's attention shifted to the land. It could sense the alien soldiers advancing, moving toward human cities and creating chaos. The creature knew that the fight was not just about battling the ships, it was also about protecting the Earth's inhabitants. It surged forward, its massive tail cutting through the water with force, reaching the shore in a matter of minutes. The Leviathan emerged from the water, its massive form rising like a mountain as it roared. The earth beneath it trembled, and the alien soldiers who had begun to set foot on Earth's soil were sent scattering in fear. The Leviathan let out another deafening roar, its voice a warning to the invaders. This was Earth's home, and it would not be taken so easily. The alien forces, still in disbelief at the strength of their enemies, began to regroup, but the Leviathan was relentless. Its enormous tail swept through their ranks, knocking over tanks and crushing anything in its path. With each movement, it cleared the battlefield of any alien presence. Above the battlefield, The ancient dragon soared, its wings cutting through the air like thunder. The creature had been in the fight from the beginning, taking down ships with its fiery breath, and slashing through enemy forces with its claws. But the dragon knew that now the battle had reached a critical moment. The alien fleet was still a powerful threat, and Earth's guardians had to keep pushing. The dragon dove toward a large alien ship, its fiery breath turning the metal hull into molten slag. As the ship plummeted toward Earth, the dragon spread its wings, catching the wind and circling back to the sky. The dragon's eyes burned with intensity as it scanned the battlefield. It saw the alien forces regrouping there, reinforcements beginning to land. The battle had taken on a new dimension. It was not just about fighting anymore. It was about protecting everything. Earth's monsters had come to fight, yes, but now they were fighting for the people, for the future of the planet. The dragon swore it would not allow the invaders to take one step further. Back on the ground, the mighty gorilla-like beast continued its assault on the alien soldiers. The creature's strength was unmatched, and it fought with the fury of the jungle itself. The alien forces had tried to bring in advanced ground troops to subdue the creature, but they were no match for its brute force. The beast roared and charged, smashing through alien armor with ease. Each strike sent shock waves through the ground, and with every punch, the creatures of Earth were getting closer to victory. The jungle beast's eyes narrowed as it saw more alien soldiers advancing, more of them preparing to invade the cities. The creature let out a thunderous roar, signaling to the others. It was time for Earth's monsters to come together as one force. The invaders had underestimated them, thinking that the creatures of Earth were just beasts, but the monsters had intelligence, strategy, and the instinct to fight as a unit. The time had come to fight not just with strength, but with unity. High above, the winged predator continued its aerial assault. The sky was its domain, and it used its agility and speed to its advantage. The alien ships, though powerful, were no match for the predator's movements. It darted between enemy aircraft, slashing at them with its talons and taking down ship after ship. The predator's eyes gleamed with the thrill of the hunt, its wings slicing through the air with a speed that left the aliens struggling to keep up. But the predator was aware that the invaders were becoming more desperate. The aliens were regrouping and adapting to the Earth's monsters. Soon, they would fight back with everything they had. The predator felt a wave of urgency. It had to help the others. It had to stop the reinforcements from arriving. With a sharp cry, the predator dove into the heart of the alien fleet, attacking from above. The creatures of Earth were not just individual forces. They were working together, communicating without words, each playing their part in the fight for Earth's survival. The monsters of Earth were not just fighting for themselves anymore. They were fighting for the people they had long protected. The Earth, once under siege by the alien invaders, had begun to fight back, and the invaders were feeling the pressure. The Earth's monsters were pushing forward, reclaiming the land, sea, and skies, and forcing the aliens into retreat. The alien forces who had once thought Earth would be an easy conquest were now faced with an overwhelming defense. Their ships were falling from the sky. Their ground forces were being shattered, and their weapons were failing against the combined might of Earth's guardians. The aliens had underestimated Earth's monsters, and now they were paying the price. The battle was far from over, but Earth's monsters were proving that they would not let the planet fall without a fight. The invaders had come to conquer, but they were now realizing that Earth was not a world to be easily taken. The monsters of Earth had a deep, ancient connection to the planet, and their strength, their power, and their will to protect were unmatched. As the battle raged on, the monsters continued to fight side by side. They were more than just creatures. They were the planet's first line of defense, and they were willing to do whatever it took to protect their home. The aliens might have had superior technology, but Earth's monsters had something the invaders could never replicate: the power of the Earth itself. The monsters roared in unison, sending a message to the invaders. Earth would not be conquered. It would not fall. not while these creatures still stood to protect it. The battle had raged for days. Earth's monsters, guardians of a forgotten age, had fought against the alien invaders with strength, fury, and unity. The skies had been filled with the roar of dragons and the screeching of alien ships. The ground had trembled under the force of Earth's mighty beasts, while the oceans had been stirred by the Leviathan's great tail. Each of the creatures had played their part, and now, as the alien forces began to falter, Earth's defenders knew that the time had come to end the conflict once and for all. The aliens, once confident in their superior technology, were now retreating. Their fleet, once so powerful, was being torn apart by the relentless assault of Earth's monsters. The alien soldiers, who had believed themselves unstoppable, were no match for the beasts that had risen from Earth's depths. The battle had taken a toll on both sides, but Earth's monsters had proven to be a force like no other. With every alien ship that fell and every soldier that retreated, Earth's creatures pushed forward, determined to protect their home. The Leviathan, having crushed the last of the invader ships in the ocean, turned its attention to the distant horizon. Its massive form towered over the sea, a symbol of the planet's power. The creature let out a deep, rumbling roar, a sound that echoed across the waters. It had defeated the alien fleet that had dared to invade its domain, but now it knew that the Earth was still not safe. There were more invaders coming, more ships, more soldiers, more weapons. The battle was not over. But the Leviathan's victory had sent a powerful message. Earth was not so easily defeated. Above, the dragon circled the skies, its fiery breath lighting up the darkened sky. The creature had fought relentlessly, taking down alien ships and defending the planet from above. But now, it was looking down at the wreckage of the alien fleet below. The dragon's eyes gleamed with satisfaction, knowing that it had played a vital role in this victory. But it could sense that the war was not over. The invaders might have retreated, but they would return. The Earth's guardians would need to remain vigilant, ready for whatever came next. The mighty gorilla-like beast, whose strength had shattered the alien forces on the ground, stood tall among the ruins. The jungle beast had fought fiercely, using its massive arms to crush alien soldiers and their machines. Now, as the last of the invaders retreated, the beast let out a victorious roar. It was a simple sound, but it carried with it a message of triumph. Earth was safe, for now. The creatures of the jungle, the Earth's first defenders, had done their part, and they would not let the planet fall again. In the skies, the winged predator soared through the clouds, its sharp eyes scanning the battlefield. Below, the predator had flown at incredible speeds, taking down alien aircraft and protecting Earth from above. Now, as the remaining invaders fled, the winged beast knew that the Earth was no longer in immediate danger. But the predator's instincts told it that this was not the end. Earth's monsters had sent the invaders a clear message. They would not let anyone harm their home. The winged predator would be ready, always vigilant, for the day when the invaders returned. As the monsters began to regroup, they sensed the alien retreat. The invaders, realizing they were no match for Earth's guardians, had made the decision to pull back. Their fleet had been destroyed, their soldiers scattered, and their weapons had failed against the power of Earth's ancient creatures. The monsters had fought not just for themselves, but for the future of the planet. They had fought for the humans they had once protected, for the life that thrived on Earth's surface, and for the future that had yet to be written. The humans, having watched in awe as the monsters battled to defend their world, began to realize something they had never understood before. The Earth's true protectors were not the armies or the weapons they had created. The true protectors were the creatures who had existed long before human civilization had even begun. The monsters, once thought to be nothing more than myths and legends, were Earth's guardians. They were the planet's first line of defense, and the humans had seen their power firsthand. The monsters of Earth, having secured a hard-won victory, knew that the battle was over for now, but they also knew that the future was uncertain. The aliens might have been defeated, but there would always be threats to Earth, new enemies, new dangers, and new challenges. The monsters understood this, and they knew that they had to remain vigilant. They had fought together to protect their home, and they would do so again if necessary. The creatures of Earth, once scattered and hidden in the shadows, had proven their strength. They had answered the call when the planet needed them most. They had fought not just for survival, but for the future of their home. The Earth's monsters had become more than just protectors. They had become symbols of the planet's strength, of its resilience, and of the power that lay within the natural world. As the last remnants of the alien fleet disappeared into the sky, the creatures of Earth turned their attention to the humans. The planet's guardians, having fulfilled their duty, now looked to the future. They had protected the Earth from invasion, but now it was time for the humans to take responsibility for their world. The monsters, in their silent way, had shown that Earth was worth protecting, and it was up to the humans to continue that fight. The Earth had changed. The monsters, once hidden and forgotten, had shown their true power. And the humans, who had never fully understood the planet they lived on, now saw it in a new light. The Earth was not just a place to live. It was a living, breathing entity with protectors who would never allow it to fall. The monsters, having played their part, began to retreat into the wilds from which they had come. They would remain vigilant, waiting for the day when they would be called upon again. But for now, the Earth was safe. The battle had been won, and the monsters had proven that even in the face of powerful invaders, the Earth's ancient guardians would never back down.